All right, good morning. How's it going? Today is May 18th, 2021. We're going to get right into it. We'll get to the markets, of course, but this first, okay? Chapter 3. This was an amazing chapter, okay? And it made me think of something called The Field of Dreams. I don't know if you ever watched this movie. I don't know if it was a book or not, but basically the concept was if you build it, they will come. That was pretty much what I got from this chapter of the book. And I've seen this in trading as well. I mean, last summer I set a goal for myself at the end of the summer, and that was the first time I can really remember setting a goal like that, and I hit it. Exactly. It wasn't like I overshot it. It wasn't like I undershot it. I hit the goal absolutely exactly, which was really eye-opening for me. But anyways, so this chapter is all about, again, last chapter was kind of realizing that your mind, you control your mind. It's not that you're just a mechanism. You control a mechanism, a machine. Um, and there's a lot of examples given in this chapter about how this is the case, okay? And some of these things, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people look at what I just said and they say, well, this guy's just some, it's like this woo-woo kind of thing, magic, like, law of attraction, blah, blah, blah. But it's scientifically demonstrable, okay? So, I mean, what do you want me to tell you? And here's a couple of things that they put forward in the book. Hypnotized people. If you tell them, hey, I'm poking you with a hot rod, they will react to it as if they are getting hit by a hot rod. And not only that, they will develop a blister in a lot of cases. Their body believes it. Your mind cannot tell the difference, or your consciousness cannot tell the difference between what's real and what is imagined, okay? And so I think the title of the chapter, actually probably something I should have written down, was Imagination, the First Key to Your Success Mechanism. Okay? And so this is all about imagination. If you tell a person, imagine that your hand is in a bucket of cold water, their hand gets colder. These temperature changes are measurable. So we know that thought, belief, can express itself in physical reality and can make changes in the physical reality. If not, it is the entire basis for all change in the physical reality, period. Okay, so the other example, or another example, there are a lot of examples given that I can't go over, but I love them all, was running from a bear. If you see a bear, you're going to react to that in accordance with what your belief system is about the threat or the whatever that bear poses to you. However, we must also realize that if it's a person dressed up as a bear and you perceive it as a bear, you're going to have the same reaction as something to a bear. So even though it was imagined that you saw the bear and it wasn't really a bear, you react the same way. So you feed your mind the positive information and you'll get the positive result. You feed your mind the negative information, you'll get the negative result. Okay, sitting down playing golf in someone's head was shown to reduce strokes by quite a bit. Somebody was scoring like over 90, they dropped it to 36 just after a simple week, 5-minute practices. And here's one quote that I'll leave pretty much all of this with, maybe two. Cybernetics regards the human brain, nervous system, and muscular system as a highly complex servo mechanism, an automatic goal-seeking machine which steers its way to a target or goal by use of feedback data and stored information, automatically correcting course when necessary. It must have a target to shoot at. And to end this, most of us underrate ourselves. Think about it. So on to the markets. Gold, silver, nice rallies this morning. Market's mostly flat, although NASDAQ is higher by 0.5%. Crude oil, slightly higher. Not much driving. Dollar lower. Actually, dollar's under 90, which, I mean, I've been a big dollar bear, and I mean, like I said the other day, you just set up a chart, you can see, I mean, the dollar is not in a good spot right now. And this is bullish for the market. And I said yesterday that I was bullish on the market. And I have quite a few open positions right now on the market. Again, oil flat, 10-year stable. So looking okay. I mean, oil is slightly higher, but it is, it's about 9 a.m. right now. So we'll see what happens by the open. But I have a couple stories on Market Watch that I want to communicate to you because I think that they are really important. And it seems like at least a couple of these are driving some of the action this morning. So oil was higher by as much as 1% last night. But we're still seeing, backwards information in regards to the ceasefire or not the ceasefire. So Israel basically, Netanyahu said, no, we're not stopping, and it hasn't stopped. But I have two articles up here, both from the Associated Press. One was published at 5 yesterday, and one was published at 6 yesterday p.m. Israel targets Hamas tunnels and commanders' diplomatic efforts to end fighting come up short. Diplomatic efforts to end fighting come up short. U.S. gives no signs it will pressure Israel to ceasefire. Palestinian death toll tops 200. Not even an hour and a half later, Biden expresses support for Gaza ceasefire in call with Netanyahu. So I guess he called him up and said, let's do a ceasefire. Now, maybe the reason oil is falling right now, it actually just went negative, is because this article did come out afterwards, maybe the market's starting to digest some of this. I don't really know, but there has been no ceasefire yet. And in my opinion, yeah, maybe there will be some ceasefire, but long term, even medium, even short term, I would not expect this to de-escalate. I would expect crude to be going higher, although we did hit 70 on Brent, which was a target for me. So it would make sense to get a little pullback here. But again, I mean, dollar getting fucking cremated this morning. I don't know if we're really going to get that. Here's a big duh. The former CEO of Washington Mutual foresees another housing bubble. And he blames the Fed. I don't even know what to say. The housing bubble is already here. Has anybody been paying attention to the prices of homes being bought above list prices? The Federal Reserve buying $40 billion a month in mortgage-backed securities. I mean, the housing is in a hyper bubble. Foresees a housing bubble. It's here. And it's going to get larger until it doesn't. The Fed has gotten hooked on these expansive policies of ultra-low interest rates. Sometimes I think they float out these articles. I mean, it's not that the article is wrong, right? It's just that this is so obvious. And is it a distraction mechanism so that people, don't really understand the depth of how big the bubble is? They're like, oh, I guess we're developing one. So the COVID policies didn't have anything to do with this. Because in the article they say, the necessary actions that were taken during the COVID crisis, but now they must unwind and they have to... No, they can never unwind. They can't. But that's what they want. They never want to unwind. They want to collapse the system eventually. Until that day comes, they will continue to inflate the dollar. They will continue to inflate housing. They will continue to buy everything. Period. End of story. And anybody who doesn't understand that all of this, everything we're seeing is planned out, you're just not looking close enough, because you don't need the Federal Reserve to be doing what it's doing. In fact, it is the biggest scourge upon humanity. Every single action, every single dollar that the Fed prints steals money from you and takes away your freedom and continues their dominance. Okay, period. And then at 8:30, we got housing starts data. Housing starts fall as builders contend with shortage of materials and labor. And of course, I don't know if you've been watching lumber prices. They're skyrocketing. Inflation is here. Shortage because, of course, I mean, it makes sense. You have a shortage and then prices go way up, because everybody's trying to pile into these things while they're still cheap, I mean, it's a sad situation that we're in. I mean, I know someone personally that was trying to build a house last year. They couldn't get a permit, and now lumber prices have pretty much quadrupled, I think, from then. So the government doesn't let them build their own house, and then they have to pay 4 times more. It honestly makes me sick, because these are honest people, and these are good people, and they're being taken advantage of. Before I go even further, I think that's enough. We already hit long enough, but I don't think I'll be able to do a post-market video today. I have a commitment later, but I will see you tomorrow. Let's see how this plays out. It's good to see metals higher here. Dollar getting killed. I mean, it is looking bullish today, but we'll see. Maybe it'll be a flat day. Maybe we'll probably be volatile again. So have a good one. I will see you tomorrow morning.